Can you see it from there?
I can't see my card.
I'm not sure.
You
if they
can't
can
see
cut
it?
or
Can
not.
you see it from that table?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see it, I can see it.
Oh, that's why it's.
Did you use it before? You need it, but I don't think I've got it. I've seen what it's used in though. Everybody has told me it's not good.
Where is it?
I don't know. Still it's good.
Oh, I like his, I don't know what it's called. It's the dough is folded over vegetables and in there. Oh, it's delicious.
What is that?
Quesadilla?
No.
No, I forget what it's called.
That's what we
What's your
should do.
husband's name again?
No.
Dawn. At Bill's, what is the meal? It's a dough folded over.
Calzone?
Calzone.
That's it. Thank you.
We all have brain damage. That's right.
That's the easiest question I get in my life.
Yeah, it's only a cheese large pizza.
I know, but I wonder if I could use it, get some.
Any luck?
Yeah, we'll be ready in a sec. I just need a different wire than the one I have. So that'll be a minute or so.
I had a lady at church tell me that she watches this movie every month.
Oh, really?
I don't know who she is or where she's from. I guess she said a lot of people watch. So you're all on television.
No, we're not. I'm not sure as a camera. I just
Oh,
need that class.
I know.
But your husband has a camera.
I've never seen it.
To prove the comedy, yeah.
Yes, I don't know.
Yikes!
A lady in church says she watches it all the time. Why? I know. I'm like, oh my god. So any face I make gets.
Oh, jeez. I never watch it. Never have.
I think we've landed on it once, just as we were flipping through channels.
I've seen some of the stuff come up sometimes on Facebook, not our meetings, but other ones. When I'm bored at night, try not to listen to my husband talk about politics. I scroll through Facebook.
Oh god.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm off Facebook altogether.
Are you?
I got hacked,
Oh no.
and I've never been able to fix it. And I'm just.
I never post anything. I only
done.
started it because when the kids were in.
Yep.
John was in the military. That's it. And now I never post anything.
I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on Facebook.
I don't even know how to do that. Instagram. No idea.
Same thing as Facebook. Essentially. Not quite as contentious.
Any of these? Getting on?
No, I think for Louis down. He has it. Yeah.
And then we're just gonna record the file here.
We just won't ask any questions to catch up.
There you go. Or order dinner, one or the other.
Yep. They have to see that side and watch their groceries before they go in the house. Because of COVID? Yeah, for the COVID.
I blame some people for what they did, you know, and it's
I
all.
mean, you can be careful, but that's being.
Well, some people have.
All set?
Maybe they have nothing else to do.
All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And it is 5:12 p.m. Roll call, Commissioner Widdop,
Here.
Commissioner Burrows.
Here.
Commissioner Chris Sheedy,
Here.
Commissioner Dennis Sheedy is here, Mr. Tebow is absent. This month, Agenda item number 1, Easton Housing Authority officer position, CPA committee appointee vote. My question, Kathy, is do we want to table this till after the election and then we can realign the board at the same time, or?
That's totally up to you. I can bring this back for the May meeting. Then you'll have a full board.
We'll have a full board that day and we can just do them both at the same time.
That's, yep.
Typically,
You want a
it's
table?
done after the election.
Yeah, I think after the election, both would say that it should be after the election, but there's not gonna be a change, so. But, all right, we'll table that until the May meeting.
Do you need a motion to table?
Why don't we take one just to be safe?
I will motion to table item number 1.
I'll
That
second.
motion, okay.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chris Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 2, minutes of the February 14th, 2023 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept and place on file the minutes for the February 14th meeting of the Easton Housing Authority Board of Commissioners.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Whittup, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion on the February minutes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 3, the minutes of the March 14th, 2023 meeting.
I will make a motion that we accept and approve the minutes of the March 21st, 2023 board meeting.
March 14th.
March 21st.
We deferred it.
We
from the
deferred it.
14th because of the windstorm.
It says
Yeah.
14th on the agenda, but on the
Sorry.
minutes itself, it says the 21st.
Okay.
My error.
Sorry, I was reading off the agenda.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Chris Sheedy and a second by Commissioner Whittup. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 4, the March warrant in the amount of $267,175.17.
I'll make a motion, we approve the warrant for March 2023 in the amount of $267,175.17.
I will second that motion.
Excuse me. We have a motion by Commissioner Burrows, a second by Commissioner Chris Sheedy. Any discussion regarding the warrant?
I have a question regarding, on page 7 of 9 of the revolving account, check number, let's see, where is it? Check number 9058 to Manette Donovan, attorney at law, for the policies that were done. Does that come out of the DHCD revolving account?
It comes out of our revolving, our operating.
Our operating.
Correct. Because these are all state policies.
So
That
it's
were
in the
required.
budget then? And
Well, it's not in the
gonna blow
budget. It's part of your administrative, yeah.
Okay.
So will it be charged to the 6,000?
What do you mean 6,000?
The
4,000?
the legal.
I don't know. Well, we've probably racked some of that up already. That's something I'll visit. If he can do that, that's where he'll allocate it.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he does the year-end stuff, which he hasn't done yet.
Any other discussion concerning the March warrant? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 5, the February 2023 financial statements.
I will make a motion that we receive and place on file the February accountant's compilation report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christianchidi, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any discussion or concerns regarding February 2023 financial statements?
I have a question regarding the, on page 6 of 8, account 3920, RCTS sale of equipment, $6,000. What was that equipment?
Sale of equipment, that was a trade-in of the truck,
Okay.
when we bought the new truck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion concerning the February financial statements? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 6, PHN notice 2023-03, Wage Match Director's Report.
This is something we've done for years. We were supposed to file it, all housing authorities, not just us, this affidavit at the year end that we use the wage match system, and DHCD I think just caught on. And so now they want it filed with everybody's year end, which we haven't filed yet. This will go in with our year end when the fee accountant does that, but I do want you all to know that we operate under the guidelines of the wage match system, and that every tenant upon recertification, we have signed the wage match and we do the process of checking the wages.
Any other discussion or concerns regarding Public Housing Notice 2023-03? March 16th, I've only got
I will
three
need
out.
a vote on that and a chairman's signature.
Yeah, I make a motion that we authorize the chairman to sign the approval regarding wage match.
One second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Christianchidi, a second by Commissioner Burrows.
Can you pass it down, Bones?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is unanimous. Agenda item number 7. Fish number 088-667-01-S01-23-315. Entrance sidewalk replacement 667-1.
That's just a project number that they had to assign in order to figure it out. It has not been assigned a fish number yet, which would be shorter.
And this is for the strip of sidewalk that runs runs along the parking lot at Elise Circle, is that correct?
It runs from the parking lot out to the main
Out to Baldwin Street.
street, right. What would have to happen is we would have to use emergency reserves to fix that piece of sidewalk. The estimate of the cost, about $60,000, and then when you add in an architect fee, which obviously have to because of ADA and everything else, it would come out to be about $71,572. That's just an approximation. That being said, anything can change. That is totally up to the board whether we want to use emergency reserves to take care of something like this and move forward, or if we want to hold off and try to allocate the funds in another project with other paving projects that we will have upcoming.
Just to kind of reminisce, Joseph Hardenberg, the project manager, is the gentleman that was here as our RCAT representative in the January meeting when we had our
capital improvement
capital
plan.
improvement plan
Yes.
discussion, open. And he actually came and walked over there and checked things out because Dawn had expressed concern. So I just wanted to bring that memory back to the record.
Mm-hmm.
What stage are we at now? He's, when we initially talked to him, he thought there might be other funds available.
That is what we have. It would come from our emergency funding. Now, in our emergency funding, we usually have a year's worth of funding that's provided, which is about $248,000, and we have an additional 70 in there. That being said, that would deplenish the emergency reserve portion of the extra allocated money. We are required to keep X amount in for a big emergency. We do have a paving project for Parker Terrace, the 6673. That's about $217,000 currently, which also won't get much done. That's down the road a bit.
Yeah,
It's really how the board would wish to proceed with this. If this is something we want to allocate to emergency funds with, we can put the project together and start it. Or if you want to wait until next CIP when we're doing that and see if there's maybe a larger paving project that we can wrap in together.
Yeah, I have concerns with, when we start putting up with the other projects, I can see the can getting kicked down multiple years. This piece of walkway is probably, it's debatable, but I would say it's probably the worst piece of sidewalk that we have on the project, and it's used frequently during the day. I've been kind of monitoring it, and it gets used quite a bit, And I'm just afraid that if the whole purpose was to separate this and treat it as a separate project.
Well, that's what it is.
But now we're talking about pairing it with something over here, which is just gonna, it's just gonna delay that whole thing. Those are my concerns now.
It's more about a cost savings, Dawn, getting more bang for your money. If you have tarring trucks and whatnot here and already contractors working on it, it tends to, you get more done for a bigger project is what that is. That also being said, we don't know what kind of property lines are involved in this because it's not all our property up there. There's probably going to be tree work. He did estimate it on the high side. I don't know. Also being said is we have the siding and window project coming up that we have to do in phases here. What if we need that emergency funding or we have to knock a building out because we can't allocate the funding accordingly with that project?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something open for discussion.
Not
If you
yeah,
want to think about it, we can bring it back to the table at the next meeting. Or I can go in and file a revision to the CIP and we can start the process.
So the 60,000 is already allocated.
It's an emergency. We would have to use the emergency set-aside funding to do it.
So the 60,000 is not currently
It is
allocated.
not.
Okay, so the whole thing would have to be emergency.
Right. Correct.
71,000.
Yep.
572. And how long is this piece of sidewalk? Approximately?
I'm gonna say 150, 200 feet maybe.
Yeah, easily, probably.
Is that the only sidewalk that exits the property out
Yes.
to the
Yes.
street? So there's not one on each side of the road?
Yeah.
It's only on one side.
And what we have is we have residents walking in the street rather than sidewalk. Because, and then I noticed one gentleman, he's walking with a walker. It's his daily routine. And he has an awful hard time navigating that. And he chooses to walk on the sidewalk, and it's a struggle for him, it's the exit when they walk down to the store or whatever. Yeah, it is their main exit. So.
Is there any other paving project coming up at Elise Circle?
Not at least because we just did all that paving
what I
at
thought.
Elise.
Okay, so we just did all that paving.
When we did the ramps and everything, and that was not part of it at the time, and that project went over as well.
Realistically, the walkways in Packer Terrace, realistically, you're looking a few years out for that, right?
For the cost
So
of
if this
that,
gets
yes.
bundled in with that, we're looking at a few years out. And that was my concern, you know, to just to address that one piece.
And Joe did say that that sidewalk is in bad repair for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the tree roots coming up, there definitely have to be some trees come down, and that's, again, it could turn into something more just because of property lines and whatnot and the trees, whose property are the trees on, because that's the issue at hand, is the tree roots are coming up and pushing, which is causing the buckling in that sidewalk.
Yes, there's no.
I noticed he mentioned in here, he thought the 60,000 was a little bit on the high side, so.
He did that on purpose, but don't keep in mind, the architect fees brings it up to around 71.5. Because as we know, everything has to go to design.
Once again, I'm just repeating myself. I have concerns if we start pairing this with another part of the project, you know, another project altogether, then this will never get done, or in the foreseeable future, anyways.
Even if it was to go ahead right this minute as an individual project, chances are it wouldn't make this construction season.
I don't know the answer to that.
Because we don't have an architect on board at this
No.
point.
It is possible that it could hit fall before the plant.
It's
But then
possible.
again, last year the plants closed down so late because it was so mild. It is a possibility. I mean, I suppose we could always file the revision, put the project in, and
See what happens.
see what happens with it.
Is there-
Because I echo Don's concerns that if it's such a safety hazard, to push it out 2 years is just, it's not responsible on our part to. But fiscally, we should go the other way, but for the tenants' benefit and their safety, then, you know, we need to push it as fast as we can, and that's still gonna be a lengthy process.
It's absolutely not, none of it falls on town property.
We don't know that yet. We haven't got into
So it's gotta be
into that.
surveyed and it's gotta be,
Yes. Some of it may, it might fall on personal property of that resident that lives on the end there. We don't know that. We just did a rough, Joe came out, walked the property, took some measurements, threw it into Sims to see what the project would come out at as an estimate.
Joe had mentioned that he wasn't even sure about the trees, whether
Yep.
the trees were on, whose property the trees were on,
That-
so. you
true.
know,
yeah, and there's no sense in fixing it if that root's gonna keep on popping it up.
But
Well, like
So
I
it's
said,
almost like that tree's gonna come down.
so we start the process, and if push comes to shove, it's a $10,000 hit. If an architect deems
Just
this
to
is going to
come-
be outrageously expensive, or I don't have.
we can address that a little later on, or I mean,
Well, we wouldn't do a capital plan again until next year. But I'm saying if you want to think about this for a little bit, I don't know how much more light I can shed on it other than this. I can go in and file a revision with board vote to the capital plan, and we can start the ball rolling on it.
I would like to see it start forward.
I agree with Don Burrows and Chair Dennis Sheedy. I would like to see things started for the sake of the residents' safety.
Just the fact that they're walking out on the street. I mean, this time of year, not so bad, but when the snow and the ice next winter,
Has anybody entertained any repair as opposed to replacement at this moment in time?
I think it would be putting good money after bad
Okay.
because it's tree roots. It's beyond a repair. You'd have to, that I don't think would be feasible.
So maybe if we just even say at this point to do kind of a preliminary study to kind of figure out the property lines, the tree ownership, you know.
That would be the architect.
Yeah.
They would have to do all that. That's why I'm saying if we do, you'd figure architect $10,000 to $11,000 to start the design.
Yeah, if you can even get them out here that quickly.
Well, I mean, the sooner I file the revision, the sooner they fish it and the sooner they come out.
we need a motion?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I would entertain a motion to revise the CIP to include the entrance sidewalk replacement at 667-1.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Widup, a second by Commissioner Burrows. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous.
Is there any other area that has any similar concerns?
I'll look around. I'll
Yeah,
find some
because
names.
if we do one and we miss something else, then, so I just want
Up
to make.
there, I'm gonna say probably not, it would be more down here, but that's irrelevant because it's all the same property, if you're looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I just want to make
We
sure
can
there's
walk
nothing else
properly.
that's equally on the same, level
Yeah.
of concern.
We good?
Sorry, yeah, thank you.
All right, moving on, agenda item number 8, the Executive Director's Report. Kathy, I heard at the conference that the big thing with chimps is the ability to twine now, to pull,
What?
twine, pull two people off the same list, that you don't have to pull a list, you can pull more than one unit
Yeah.
off each list.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, you can. We've been doing that.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. No, we've been doing that. We did just do the mailing of 250 people for the one family unit we have. Everything was due in by yesterday. That being said, we had 15 people respond out of that 250. That also being said, they didn't give us all the required documents we need, so now we have to go back to, after some of the documentation, to do that. With any luck, by next meeting, we'll have at least 3 Chandler leased. I've gone out to advertise for both the part-time administrative clerk position and part-time custodial positions. They're advertised in Brockton Enterprise, they're on Indeed, they're on the Mass Narrow website, and so far I've had one person just inquire about the position. We also asked the local police and fire if they wouldn't mind sharing this with their employees, because I know in particularly the fire department, some of their part-time guys might be looking to do something part-time custodial-wise here, so hopefully we'll get some results from that as well.
Still loving PHA Web?
I haven't used it much, actually. I will be having a meeting tomorrow with the fee accountant and his daughter, who works for him now, to go over the chart of accounts, make sure everything's up and running. He doesn't want me to pay any bills yet until we review everything, and then we can walk through it so we get it right from the get-go in the system. Dawn loves it. She's been using it. Derek likes it. Derek's been phenomenally great with the system. He's just good with computers and figuring it all out. It definitely is a transition period, but I think it's going to work out good. And I hear Dawn out there every once in a while going, yes! So it's a good sign.
And so far, so good with everything with Section 8 in Taunton?
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a transition for a little while, so yeah, but I think they're going to be very good. I think it's going to be a huge success to have them do that. Beneficial for both agencies, truthfully.
any other questions regarding the Executive Director's Report? I would entertain a motion to accept and put on file.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Chris Anshed, a second by Commissioner Widup. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Brings us to agenda item number 9, questions and concerns. Barbara?
Barbara, yeah, that's me. First of all, I want to thank the quick results for the blind spot. Number 71, I think it is. Not 71, I'm 71, 61. The sun comes up and hits that porch directly every morning and makes it so hot, I don't know how they can stand it. And thanks to Dawn and the board, they've got their blinds up and they're very happy with that. The second thing is I have a pipe that's sticking up beside the tree where everybody congregates outside my home at 71. It's about that high off the ground, but it's green like the grass. When they bring the tables out, they have to put the table over it or do something to cover it because someone's going to fall.
What type of pipe
It's
is
a
it?
septic.
Septic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a vent?
it's up, high up off the ground. I don't
vent?
know why that
Hmm?
is.
Is it a vent?
It's my understanding, yeah.
That's a big, I forgot my glasses, I'm sorry.
It's a
I
tough
wanted
fix.
to know how long your length of service is on the board.
Who you
5
looking at?
years.
That's 5 years.
5 years, and you're all up until 5 years from now,
No, it's staggered.
staggered.
Are you saying how long is the term or how long have we been on the board?
How long is the term?
5 years,
5
but they're
years.
staggered. Commissioner Chris Anchidi is up this year.
Yeah,
I was last year. Pam was 2 years ago, I believe.
I guess so, yeah.
2021.
so I can tell people if they want to go on the board, which I don't know. if they will.
Every January, they could go to the town hall and get nomination papers.
Okay.
There's 1 year that there is not a position available because that's the governor's appointee. So there's 1 year that there's nothing that's offered for election.
Okay. Yeah, when are you going to be putting out the tables? Everybody's waiting for the tables to come out.
Well, the weather just turned. We put out the tables here, so they're working on it. The weather just turned.
I know, but like Friday, it's going to be in the 80s, and, you know,
We're doing the best we can. We've already discussed it, and the guys are working on it.
all right. Oh, are we allowed to know how many empty apartments there are here?
Yeah, it's on the board. There are 6. Well, there's 5 here and 1 family unit.
5 apartments in one family unit?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
At a
know
different
they had a
location.
family here.
Not here.
Oh. But in this facility itself, Parker Terrace and...
5.
It's 5, okay. And,
But Barbara, you have to understand, that doesn't mean they're readily available to someone off the street. We work off a centralized wait list,
I understand, I was on the wait list.
and there's
I understand.
140,000 people on that list,
I
so.
know. But, anyway, what is this thing? I'm sorry, that's all right.
Availability.
Yeah, for the apartments. Because I thought if you had a lot, if you could get them filled, you'd get more money in here, you know?
Well, we have to work off of a list,
I
and
know,
there are certain rules and regulations that we have to follow when we use that list.
I know that. Yes, that's all. It is, yeah, just the important thing is to get the tables out and to make sure that ours is over the pipe.
Well, I don't know if it will be over that specific pipe. I'll have to talk to the guys.
Yeah,
Might be able to paint it a different color or something.
Yeah, that we could do.
yeah, that is.
Put a bright yellow top on it.
The only
or
thing is
something.
it's in the front, so
Yeah.
it might stand out like a sore thumb.
I always recall there's always been a table over it. There's always been
I
something.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I'll let the...
It is a hazard because it's only just a few inches above it, you know, so it's
Yeah,
just,
you don't see it.
so it should be
It's not
covered.
so much people, because a lot of people can see, but, well, I couldn't see it if I was walking. Somebody pointed it out to me. But anyone in a wheelchair or anything like that.
Well, I'm hoping they're not going over the lawn.
Well, if they go to sit around a table, they go on the lawn. We sit on the lawn, around the table. I don't know.
I know, but we have this beautiful area over here. We have one at Lee Circle, and yeah, I know.
well, you know, different groups have different places they sit, you know. Anyway,
Keep a few
Like
whirly
high school.
gigs to it.
yeah, just like high school, right, just like high school.
Maybe junior high.
But it works out for them if they divide up in their own groups and stuff. Let them do that, you know. They can't sit on the walkways though. So the lawn is the only place they have to sit, so. I'm done, thank God.
Any other questions or concerns? Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Hearing none. Next meeting, I'm looking at May 9th.
No problem here.
Good for everybody? Next meeting will be May 9th, 5 p.m. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Christian Sheedy, a second by Commissioner Burrows. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is unanimous. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, you can have this lovely file.
You need, I'm just gonna throw it right in the red box when I go in there.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.